Most people think Australia is just beaches, accents, and dangerous animals. But Australia isn't strange because of animals. It's strange because humans kept making bad decisions that somehow worked. And the moment this became obvious was when Australia went to war with birds. In the 1930s, Australia sent soldiers with machine guns to fight big birds called emus. The soldiers lost. Here's what happened. After World War I, many soldiers became farmers in Australia. They grew wheat. But then 20,000 emus showed up. Emus are really big birds that can't fly. They're as tall as a grown-up and can run super fast. The emus ate all the crops. They broke the fences. The farmers asked the army for help. The army said yes. They sent soldiers with 2 machine guns and 10,000 bullets. The plan was simple: shoot the emus. But it didn't work. When the soldiers tried to shoot them, the emus ran away in different directions. One emu would watch for danger and warn the others. When they heard the guns, they split up into small groups and ran. The army commander said the emus were like tanks. They were really hard to stop. After using almost all their bullets, they only killed 986 emus. That's 10 bullets for each bird. That's really bad. The emus won the war. The army went home, and the emus are still there today. The emus are undefeated, and somehow, after losing a war to birds, Australia decided to put those same animals on its national symbol. Australia's national symbol shows a kangaroo and an emu. These 2 animals were picked for a special reason. Neither one can walk backwards. Their bodies just don't work that way. Kangaroos have big, strong legs that only go forward. Emus can only move forward too. This was supposed to mean Australia always moves forward and never goes back. It's a nice idea, but here's the weird part. Many Australian restaurants serve kangaroo meat and emu meat as dinner, so Australians eat their own national symbols. That's pretty strange. But when symbols weren't enough to control nature, Australia tried something more extreme: building the longest fence on Earth. Australia has the longest fence in the world. It's over 5,600 kilometers long. That's longer than the Great Wall of China. The fence is called the dingo fence. It keeps wild dogs called dingoes away from sheep farms. It goes through 3 big areas of Australia. They built it a long time ago in the 1800s, and it's still there today. Workers check it all the time to fix broken parts. On one side of the fence, there are lots of kangaroos because there are no dingoes to hunt them. On the other side, there are fewer kangaroos because the dingoes eat them. The fence actually changed how nature works on both sides. It's one of the biggest things humans have ever built to separate animals. And fences weren't the only unusual solution Australia came up with. Sometimes the solution to crime was more criminals. A long time ago, Britain sent criminals to Australia as punishment. They sent over 162,000 criminals there. But then Australia needed police officers. The problem? Almost everyone was a criminal, so they made the best behaved criminals into police officers. Yes, really. The first police force in Australia was made up entirely of criminals who promised to be good. Today, Australia has real police officers, but for a while, if you got arrested in Australia, the person arresting you was probably also a criminal once. History is weird, which makes sense when you realize even Australia's most famous building started as a decision that sounded wrong on paper. The Sydney Opera House is one of the most famous buildings in the world. It looks like white sails on a boat, but it was actually designed by thinking about oranges. A man from Denmark won a contest to design it. His name was Jorn Utzon. He figured out he could make the building by cutting pieces from a perfect ball, like peeling an orange. This made it much easier to build. The building has over 1 million white tiles on it. It changes colour depending on the light. It's white during the day and golden at sunset. They thought it would take 4 years to build and cost $7 million. It actually took 14 years and cost $102 million. That's a lot more than they thought. But now it's one of the most famous buildings on Earth, all because someone figured out how to peel a ball like an orange. And once the world noticed how strange and beautiful this place was, Hollywood couldn't stay away. Many famous movies are filmed in Australia because it has beautiful beaches and amazing landscapes. Movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, Thor, and even parts of Jaws were filmed there. Australia gives movie companies money back if they film there. This brings lots of jobs and money to Australia. If a movie needs beautiful beaches or a desert that looks like the end of the world, Australia has both. Sometimes they're even the same place. But Australia wasn't just the backdrop. It quietly invented things the rest of the world now depends on. Australia invented many things we use every day. They invented the black box on airplanes. That's the thing that records what happens if a plane crashes. They also invented pacemakers for hearts, the bionic ear, contact lenses you can wear for a long time, electric drills, and car radios. Australian workers also created the 8-hour workday back in 1857. Before that, people worked much longer. And the word selfie came from Australia too. In 2002, an Australian man posted a photo online and called it a selfie. Now everyone uses that word. So when you take a selfie with your electric drill while listening to your car radio, you can thank Australia. And with all that innovation and success, Australians found another passion: losing money. Australia loves gambling more than any other country. More than 80% of adults in Australia gamble. They spend about $25 billion every year on gambling. That's about $1,300 for every adult. No other country loses that much money gambling. Australia has about 200,000 poker machines. That's almost one machine for every 130 people. Even Las Vegas doesn't have that many. Australians also have cockroach races. Yes, really. A hotel in Brisbane has held cockroach racing every year since 1982. People come to watch which cockroach wins. The cockroaches have funny names like Guns N' Roaches and Lord of the Drains. If you're going to gamble, you might as well bet on bugs, which might explain why there are more kangaroos than people roaming the store. Australia has about 26 million people, but it has 50 million kangaroos. That means there are almost 2 kangaroos for every person. Kangaroos are everywhere. You can find them in parks, in the desert, in small towns, and all across the country. Most Australians have seen wild kangaroos. Kangaroos also cause lots of car crashes. People hit them with their cars all the time. Many Australians put special metal bars on their cars to protect them from kangaroo crashes. Australia also has 75 million sheep. That's 3 sheep for every person. So if kangaroos and sheep work together, they could easily beat the humans. Luckily, sheep aren't dangerous, and kangaroos haven't figured out how to organize yet. Though based on the Emu War, humans might lose anyway. And once you understand Australia's relationship with chaos, trying to sell another country online doesn't seem that surprising. In 2006, a man from Australia tried to sell New Zealand on eBay. Yes, the whole country. He started the price at 1 cent. The auction was supposed to last 1 month. People actually started bidding. The price went up to $3,000 before eBay shut it down. Apparently, you can't sell countries on eBay. They had to make a rule about it. This shows how Australians and New Zealanders get along. They're like brothers who always argue. Australians say New Zealand is just a bad part of Australia. New Zealanders say they're better at sports. Both countries also fight about who invented a dessert called pavlova. They've been arguing about it for years. But trying to sell your neighbour country on eBay, that's very Australian. Shout out to Australia.